Hey, Motorman here. I'm at Wesley Chapel Harley-Davidson. It's their 1-year anniversary, just opened up in this location 1 year ago, and I'm going to take a couple of bikes for a ride. The first one, well, this is a bike that Harley should have never canceled, but let me show you this bike. This is the Electra Glide Standard, almost the same exact motorcycle as the Street Glide. The biggest difference is this has the polished aluminum motor versus chrome motor and no radio. Other than that, it's the exact same bike. But here's the good news about these bikes. They sold the first year, I think it was 18,000, and then it went up to 19,000, but they made ABS standard equipment. It's got the 107 motor, puts out, according to Harley-Davidson, about 85 horsepower. But you've got everything you need if you want to get a bike like this and you want to go do some serious touring. This is the perfect motorcycle for a great price. Well, all right, the first thing I like to do when I get on a bike is test its maneuverability. And as you've probably seen in my videos, and you should know that Harley-Davidson touring motorcycles are the most maneuverable heavyweight motorcycles your money can buy. Excellent maneuverability as usual with a Harley-Davidson. Bring it to a stop, just turn those bars, turn my head and eyes, and around comes the motorcycle. Well, all right, this bike of course has the 107, puts out, I think it's 85 horsepower, somewhere in that range. More than enough to get this bike moving rather quickly. Lots of torque. That's what you feel when you're riding. This bike also has, like the Street Glides, the 1-inch shorter shock in the back. So if you're height challenged, that's a good thing. If you like to do any kind of competition riding or really take advantage of the bike's lean angle, I always suggest put the inch longer shocks on the back. You could find them on eBay really cheap. This bike is, I mean, it's got everything you need for touring, and it was a fantastic buy when it came out. It's an even better buy now used with, like I said, 1,030 miles on it, not even broken in yet. It is a certified Harley-Davidson motorcycle, so you can get an extended warranty if you care to. But the whole point of a touring motorcycle is, well, to do some touring. And you could definitely do that on this bike. That's what they're made for. Some would argue that there are better touring bikes, and, you know, better, what does that mean, really? If you like the classic Harley-Davidson style, which I do, nostalgic style, they've managed to keep the style very similar to what it was in the 1940s. That's a good thing. That's why people love Harley-Davidson so much. They love that classic American style, and I feel the same way. Price-wise, new. Like I said, this bike was right around, I think it was 19,000 bucks. And back in 2021, that was a good price, and it's still a good price now, especially that it's down to 16 grand. At least that's what they're asking for the bike. With the aftermarket exhaust, it sounds like what a Harley-Davidson should sound like. If you like a big V-twin and the torque and the American style, classic American style, but you want to save a bunch of money, this is definitely a bike to look at. With the lowered rear shock in the back, you got a 31-degree lean angle, and that's enough for, well, probably about 98% of the riding public. They'll never find this bike's limits on their favorite winding road. push this bike. But anybody who thinks that you can't have a lot of fun on a motorcycle like this because, well, it's a heavyweight cruiser, you probably haven't ridden one, or you haven't ridden a Harley-Davidson in 30 or 40 years. Now, I know the haters are going to come out of the woodwork whenever I talk about Harley-Davidson. Funny thing, if you hate Harley-Davidsons, why would you click on a video about Harley-Davidsons? It doesn't make any sense. What people do just to say, oh, I hate them, they're junk, they're this, they're that. And I always think, what's the idea behind their thinking? And the only thing I could figure is one of two things. Either they can't afford one and always wanted one, and they're mad because they're expensive motorcycles, which, let's face it, Harley-Davidsons have always been expensive. Or they can afford it but aren't willing to spend the money. Well, for those people, I say, find a bike like this. Barely used, looks just like the brand new ones, but you can get in this bike for, well, a little bit less than 16 grand, not counting tax and tag, etc. So if you're interested in this bike, hustle down at Wesley Chapel Harley-Davidson. Tell them Motorman sent you. And take this bike out for a ride. I think you'll find you could save a bunch of money and get a wonderful heavyweight touring motorcycle, a true Harley-Davidson. So Harley made a mistake canceling this bike. It was a great price leader for the touring bikes, but thankfully there's some really nice used ones around like this that's almost brand new, and you could save even more money.